I mean, it might be feet and where it starts. It makes sense.
Thank you all very much here for coming here today on this beautiful fall day in Salisbury. I'm Neil Harrington, the town manager, and I'm serving as your humble master of ceremonies for today's official dedication of the Town Creek Restoration Project. As you'll hear some of the speakers mention today, this has been sort of an unprecedented level of cooperation with several state and federal and local agencies, staff people, people from the private sector, and just a variety of bumps and bruises along the way over this long and tortuous process of getting this project through to completion. But it's a very happy day today. The tide gates work great, the culverts are terrific, and we're pleased to see such a great crowd here today. I'd like to start today's speaking program by introducing the Vice Chairman of our Board of Selectmen, who will bring the greetings from the town, Freeman Condon. Freeman?
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Harrington. I will be extremely brief. There's a lot of folks that have some things to say. At the outset, I'd like to say that Chairman Donald Bolio is out of town, and Select Woman Wilma Mahoney is out of town, but Henry Richardberg and Eddie Hunt, both select people, are here, and I'd like to acknowledge them and their efforts on behalf of the town. A lot of people have done a lot of hard work and deserve a lot of credit on this project. I'm not one of them. I'm only here because Neil insisted to Lisa that I be invited. So, as officials, we often get criticized as public officials, either elected or appointed, for the things we do wrong. But if you look around, sometimes we do something right, and I think this is an example of it. The other day, my wife Maureen and I walked from Mudnock Road to Newburyport. It was a beautiful, beautiful fall day, and we got to thinking a little bit about the role of government and what government really means to us and what it can do for us. And this is one of the things that is appropriate for government to do. Salisbury has been blessed in so many ways, and one of the blessings are her natural resources, and this is a great way to enjoy it. I thank you very, very much for being here, and on behalf of the entire town, I welcome you. Thank you, Neil.
Thanks very much.
Yep.
Thank you, Freeman. We're very pleased to have several representatives here from the key state agencies that helped make today possible, and I would like to introduce the first of a few of them who I would like to ask say a few words. The first speaker would be Martin Suberg. Marty is the Undersecretary for Environment in the Mass Executive Office of Energy and Environmental Affairs. He was appointed Undersecretary by Secretary May Valley Bartlett after serving as Deputy Commissioner for Policy and Planning at Mass DEP. He has a long history at EEA and its agencies, having served as the Regional Director of Mass DEP's Central Regional Office and General Counsel and other positions in the former Office of Environmental Affairs and at DEM. So we're very pleased to have Undersecretary Suberg here today.
Thank you very much. I'm also going to be brief because I want to turn the program over to Commissioner Griffin and some of the other speakers who will be able to tell us a little more in detail about the program and about the project here. But I did want to say our own words of thanks and congratulations on behalf of the Governor, Governor Patrick, and Secretary May Valley Bartlett. This is really a project to celebrate. It's at the important intersection of protecting a valuable economic corridor, doing good environmental protection, climate resiliency, preparing for storms, and restoring the natural environment. It's a win-win-win for all of those interests, and it is a project that will be a success in all those areas, and it represents an important series of partnerships. All good projects I've come to see in my time in the state usually have good partnerships behind them, and this one is no different. There are so many partners here that should take an opportunity to celebrate this event today, and I would start first with the legislative delegation, Senator O'Connor Ives, who has been a staunch supporter, Representative Costello, former Senator Badur, all played an important role. The senator and the representative have been tireless advocates for Salisbury on this project and other projects, and really helped us. Partnerships also at the state level. DCR, the Department of Conservation and Recreation, the Department of Fish and Game. We have representatives from MEMA here. I know the Federal Fish and Wildlife Department is here as well, so the state agencies all working together. We're proud of our role. $250,000 commitment to fund this project through MEMA and DCR funding. Again, a great project. Work with the town, work with the legislative delegation, work with the interests, and what we have today is a successful project that will hopefully preserve the nature of this community for decades to come, as well as help restore the natural environment that we're all enjoying today. So with that, I'd like to welcome Mary Griffin, the Fish and Game Commissioner, to say a few words about the project.
Thanks, Marty. It's a pleasure to be here today. It's such an amazing spot with a great group of partners and people to celebrate the completion of this project. It's been a long time coming. We've been through 3 project managers at the Division of Ecological Restoration while this has been going on. And Georgianne Keir, the one that finished it out, is standing quietly in the background, and I appreciate her work on this project. And I also want to recognize Tim Purinton, our Director of Ecological Restoration, and Hunt Dury, who's here somewhere, here's Hunt, our Deputy Director, who have all spent a lot of time on this project. So this is a restoration that allows a 55-acre salt marsh to be more ecologically healthy. As Marty mentioned, it also provides public safety benefits in terms of reducing flooding for local businesses and the roads in the area. And it is an important step to take for climate change, the climate change adaptation, as we call it. So it is a win-win, as Marty mentioned. I also wanted to quickly thank some of our many partners in this project. I'll start with folks from the town. Lisa Pearson, Don Levique, and Jerry Klima are all here, and they have worked very hard on this project and worked closely with our staff. So we really appreciate their time and leadership on this project. And other important partners are the 2 ERICs, and they're very important ERICs, 2 federal agencies working closely with 3 or 4 state agencies. You don't see that happen very often, so it's a great partnership. We also have a number of state partners that we've worked with on this project for the funding of it. That includes DCR. Jonathan Rio will be speaking about Department of Conservation Recreation's role in the project shortly, and also Coastal Zone Management, which is part of the Secretary of Energy and Environmental Affairs office. So anyway, this is a great project from a fish and wildlife perspective. I was asked to mention that it would help restore habitat for, I have to get this right, the 9-spine stickleback fish. I can't say that 3 times fast. And other important wildlife like the black-crowned night herring. So there's lots of fish and wildlife benefits to a great project, as well as benefits to the public. So thank you to all the partners. And a last word on economic benefits. We actually had Division of Ecological Restoration actually had a consultant, ICF, do a study about what would this project add in terms of benefits to the economy or cost avoided, and that study showed that at $2.5 million in avoided flooding losses over the next 30 years would result from this project. So that's a wise return on investment. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. Among the people that we would like to thank, and I mentioned at the outset that there are quite a number of people that were involved in this project, are the folks from MEMA. I believe Dave Woodbury is here. And I don't know if anyone else is here from MEMA, but most people may not know this, but we applied the first time for this grant and were denied because we didn't meet all the criteria and we didn't quite have our application perhaps up to snuff, or maybe just it was highly competitive. I'd like to think it was the latter. But in either case, the folks from MEMA were terrifically helpful getting us to do some helpful revisions so that we were able to get the grant funding the second time around, so I would particularly like to thank them. In addition, we can't go without thanking our contractors here and all the folks who actually did some of the hard work day to day to make this a reality. Our engineers, Power Corporation, I know Matt Belisle is here, and I hope that Simon McGrath and Dave Cout are also here, and if they are, we'd like to thank them for all their help. They did a tremendous amount of work for us. Enpro, who allowed us to use their facility for access here, and not only today, but throughout the course of the project. David Cowie and Joe Mullaney, we'd like to thank them. In addition, our contractor, Hugo Key and Sons, who also did the work at the mouth of the river last year. They did a terrific job for us. And also Michelle Rowden, our conservation agent, who in addition to Lisa and Don, did a lot of work here on behalf of the town. The next speaker from the state that I would like to introduce is the Director of Water Supply Protection for DCR, who's Jonathan Yo. He manages both the watershed system, serving the Boston water supply system, as well as DCR's Office of Water Resources. He's been in this field for several years, and we're very pleased to have him here today. Jonathan.
Thank you.
Hi, good morning. This is a fantastic site here, fantastic project. I'm Jonathan Yo, the Director of Water Supply Protection on DCR on behalf of our Commissioner, Jack Murray, who's out of town. We wanted to come here really to congratulate everyone. I know we've had a long partnership with the town on parks and a wide range of issues that's been very successful over the years. DCR, along with MEMA, runs the Flood Hazard Management Program for the state of Massachusetts. Rich Zingarelli from my staff is the lead technical person, and I like to think that he works closely with the towns to make sure those applications are in good shape, so that yes, we do have competitive, limited funding, but I think in a project like this, as Marty said, it's a real win-win-win for everything. And I think you all know this, but reading through Rich's notes here, but the storm damages from 2005 and 2007, and the washouts and the inconvenience and the blockage and the damage to the businesses and the roadways here, I think this project obviously have significant ecological benefits, but also some real, I think, as Mary mentioned, some of the, the analysis that's been done is quite significant. This made sense from so many ways. So really, as DCR is the help to provide the funding, the federal funding, and making sure that the federal government provides money when we have such a great project like this. I think we congratulate the completion of this and the construction company that very successfully, looks like, built this this really great project. So really, just congratulations, and we're happy to be part of it. So, thank you.
Thank you. And last but not least, our legislative delegation. But before I introduce our next speaker, I would like to take a moment to thank former State Representative Mike Costello, who, as you know, was a great champion for the entire district here for several years, and he's ably represented by, I guess I can still call you his staff person. They work so closely together, but he's still working on behalf of the town. Fred Lucy. Fred, thank you very much. And our state senator. Without Katie O'Connor Ives, a lot of the good things that are happening in Salisbury, would be much more difficult to accomplish. And so I would like to introduce our state senator and ask her to say a few words. Senator Ives. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm kind of frozen right now, so bear with me. I'm turning into Rudolph, but I'm very happy to be here at the reopening of the trail and to celebrate the completion of the Town Creek Marsh Flood Mitigation Project. It's a long name, but I think a picture really paints what we're talking about here, to look around and see the native habitat and the opportunity to restore this. The completion of the new infrastructure for flood protection is possible because of a successful partnership, truly, between town officials, local property owners, state and federal agencies, and state and federal funding. Completion of this project is going to reduce property loss and damage for area landowners, homeowners, business owners, reduce flooding, and restore the town creek. This is part of the Great Marsh system that Peter Phippen can greatly appreciate, and it's a rare natural resource. The area provides a natural green infrastructure for flood prevention. And to be able to restore the ecology is really going to be a model for other parts of the state to replicate. So, the rail trail, too, is an important recreational resource, and I think that everyone that traverses this area is really going to learn about the project work and how vigilant we have to be to ensure that we keep this habitat healthy, the native species. And really, you know, as the chair of tourism, arts and culture, this is not only ecological restoration and important project work, but it's also going to become a draw for visitors and boost the local economy through tourism. So I'm very honored to be a part of this morning today, and hopefully we'll all spread the word and get other people to witness the amazing collaboration and project work that's happened. So very, very honored to be here this morning, Neil. Thank you.
I'm not going to ask folks to gather on the stones for a ceremonial dive a la former Governor Weld, but this project is really a tremendous benefit, as everybody has said. We'll continue to get a tremendous amount of use. The rail trail, as you can see, there are people who are coming by even today who didn't even know there was an event going on today, who are just continuing to use the rail trail and use it year-round. And again, on behalf of the town, I would like to thank all of our partners at the state, both elected officials, appointed officials, people who work in the bowels of state government who don't often get acknowledged and appreciated, but whose hard work makes a project like this possible. The folks from our town who've spent an awful lot of time and will continue with the monitoring committee to spend a lot of time in making sure that the project continues to be successful and functioning well into the future. And on behalf of the town, again, thank you all very, very much for coming.